So in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about the balance sheet, which is section 2.2 of chapter 2. The balance sheet is simply a statement that shows the financial position of a person, a business, or organization. If we take a look at a personal balance sheet, this is the example in the textbook of this particular individual, Chris Turner. They list all their assets, all the stuff they own, then they list all the stuff that they owe, and then they calculate the owner's equity. And notice how their total assets also is equal to their total liabilities and equity added together. Here we have an example of a balance sheet for a business. So the only difference is some of the accounts are different. So you'll notice there are account receivable accounts. The asset accounts are a little bit different, and notice how the dollar values are much larger. And then we have some differences down here in the owner's equity section. Now I'll talk about the important features of the balance sheet. So the first one is notice how the balance sheet follows the fundamental accounting equation that we talked about the other day. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. Assets are on the left side and liabilities and owner's equity are on the right side. When you go to do a balance sheet, the heading has three lines. So each heading will have who, or the name of the individual, the organization, what, the name of the financial statement, in this case the balance sheet, and when, the date on which the financial position is determined. Assets are listed in their order of liquidity. Liquidity refers to how quickly the asset can be converted to cash. So the following list is the order you would normally see on the balance sheet for assets: cash, accounts receivable, equipment, and buildings. Number four, liabilities are generally listed in order in which they are normally paid. Number five, the financial details of any item are fully disclosed on a balance sheet. For example, when we look at the business balance sheet for Easy Rentals from slide number 3, they have assets listed for 148,000. Their buildings are worth 134,000 under assets, and then they also have a liability in the form of a mortgage payable in the amount of $95,200. This is much more informative in terms of a presentation than if land and building were listed as a single amount, simply by taking 148,000 plus 134,000 and subtracting, sorry, this number should be 95,200. Number six, the final two totals, one on each side of the balance sheet, are recorded on the same line and then underlined with a double line. So in this section of the chapter, you're being introduced to one of the accounts that we're going to be using quite a bit. It's the accounts receivable, or in short form A/R. This is where customers of a business are buying goods on credit with an understanding that they'll pay for them later. Typically, people may get 30 days credit or 60 days credit or 90 days credit. Accounts receivable are debts of customers. Customers that owe money to the business are referred to as debtors, and accounts receivable is an asset account. The other account that's being introduced in this section is accounts payable, capital A/capital P. Sometimes a business will make purchases for goods and services on credit as well. Accounts payable is a liability account. These are debts that are owed by the business, and anyone to whom the business owes money is called a creditor. So now let's go through the process of preparing a balance sheet. So step one, the heading must contain these three items: who, what, where, and when. So who, Easy Rentals. What is it? It's the balance sheet, and the date of the statement, September 30th, 2014, as an example. You next want to write in a subheading, assets, at the top of the left side column and underline it. Remember that you're listing all the assets in order of liquidity. So in this case, cash, accounts receivable. These are people that owe the business money: supplies, land, buildings, and rental equipment. Next, you want to write in subheadings for liabilities at the top right side column. Write in the liabilities on the right side. Liabilities are listed in order in which they are to be paid. Suppliers' names are listed in alphabetical order, and then you would draw a line below the last liability to indicate that you're adding up the figures above the line, and then write the total liabilities and the total dollar value. So here's an example of step number 3. They have accounts payable, meaning that This is what we owe to different companies. We've bought stuff from Aero Supply. Easy Rental also bought some things from Best Repairs. They have a bank loan, they have a mortgage payable, and then we have a total here of the total liabilities. So in step number 4, beneath the liabilities, you write the subheading owner's equity right here. Then write in the owner's name plus the word capital, and then finally the equity figure. So this person, Jay Salas, would be one of the sole owner of Easy Rentals. Now we're at steps 5 and 6. So step number 5, complete the balance sheet by writing in the totals, total assets on the left side, total liabilities and equity on the right side. You would place a single ruled line above the totals and a double ruled line below each of the totals. And then also in step number 6, you only use dollar signs are placed in the first amount in every column, and then a dollar sign is also used beneath each single ruled line in each column. And then we'll bring up an example of the completed balance sheet. So here are the dollar signs in the first entry of each column. So right here in the assets, here's the dollar sign for the liabilities, and then under each single ruled line there's a dollar sign here, a dollar sign here, and a dollar sign here. Also take note that because of the fundamental account equation that we're using, the total assets must equal total liabilities and equity added together. So you should have these totals matching, hence the word balance sheet. And notice how these totals appear on the same line, and then double underlined. So that's it for today. So again, make sure you come to class having some notes down, or any questions or concerns, as we'll be using this information in the class.